If you haven't heard about Cap Verde, you've been living under a rock, especially if you live in America, which according to my analytics, most of y'all do, since America is hosting the World Cup, where Cap Verde went viral thanks to the amazing performance of its goalkeeper and his teammates. Now with Cap Verde going viral, Cap Verdean women have gone viral too for their beauty, for being exotic, for having wavy hair and tracey hair, so much so that Shannon Sharp even said that he need him a Cap Verdean woman. Now I personally think that given what happened recently with that Caucasian woman, Shannon need to focus on spending his money on his daughter, for example. Anyways, I saw this article about how dark-skinned Cap Verdean women are taking on the internet in order to reaffirm that they are African and that they too exist, which is something that I personally knew since I grew up in Dakar, Senegal, West Africa. I actually had neighbors from Cap Verde. Cap Verde is pretty close to Senegal, for those of y'all who don't know. They were two brothers, and one of them was dark skin, like he was about my complexion, and the other one was brown skin, the complexion of Kayla Nicole, for example. Anyways, I thought the article was really interesting, so let me read it to you all. For many people outside of the islands, the image of a Cap Verdean woman is almost always the same: light-skinned, mixed race. It is a stereotype that has spread through music, tourism, and popular culture for decades. But for many Cap Verdean, that image tells only part of the story. The reality is that Cap Verde is home to many people of various complexion, but the majority are of a darker brown skin. Now, even I didn't know that, right? I mean, I knew that they had brown and dark skinned people in Cap Verde, but I didn't know that they were the majority, you guys. Like, while the country has one of Africa's most visible mixed population, a significant amount of Cap Verdeans are unmistakably Black West Africans. Cap Verde history helped explain why the islands were uninhabited until they were colonized by the Portuguese in the 15th century. They later became an important hub in the transatlantic slave trade and actual exploitation, with enslaved Africans, many taken from present-day Senegal, Guinea-Bissau, the Gambia, and other parts of West Africa, being brought to the island. Over centuries, Portuguese settlers and African population mixed, creating the diverse ethnic makeup the country is known for today. Colorism of elite mixed Cap Verdeans. Like many former colonial societies across Africa, Latin America, and the Caribbean, Cap Verde has also experienced the long-lasting effect of colorism, the societal preference for lighter skin over darker skin. While there is no official caste or legal system based on skin tone, many Cap Verdeans and researchers have discussed how colonial era attitude influenced perceptions of beauty, privilege, and social status that linger in varying degrees. Historically, light-skinned Cap Verdean often had greater access to education, political influence, and economic opportunity during the colonial period. As a result, they became more visible in government, business, entertainment, international representation, combined with tourist campaign and the country's famous music export. This visibility helped reinforce the misconception abroad that most Cap Verdean are light-skinned. See, you guys, this is why we cry about colorism all the time, since y'all call us colorism crybabies, because colorism is deeper than getting a man. Contrary to most of y'all think, like, it's about livelihood for some people, okay? Like, if you're a darker skinned Black woman in Cap Verde and you have kids, for example, but you can't find a job, like, it's literally the livelihood of your kids and your own that is at stake. So colorism and futurism are deeper than, you know, finding a man. Like, you can have Tyrone, like I always say, okay? It's about, again, your livelihood, and sometimes it's even deeper than that. Like, I could also tell you about the justice system, like how people of a darker hue are more likely to be sentenced more harshly of people of a lighter hue. Like, it's so much deeper than getting a man, you guys. Anyways, back to the article. In today's world, these lighter skinned Cap Verdean happen to have access to travel more, being featured in TV more, strike more musical deals, and so forth, while the darker brown Cap Verdean face limitation to the color, caste, culture of the country. But now, darker skinned Cap Verdean are challenging the perception across Instagram, TikTok, and other social media platforms. A great number of darker skinned Cap Verdean women are proudly celebrating their identity and reminding the world that Cap Verde is every bit as African, even more so than its multicultural. Through fashion, beauty campaign, photography, and lifestyle content, they're embracing their melanin with confidence while highlighting the country's deep West African heritage. Their message is simple: being Cap Verdean is being African. Shout out to those ladies. I haven't been able to find the hashtag, you guys, but just by typing Darkskin Cap Verdeans on TikTok, I found a lot of their videos and showed them some love. So please do the same next time you're on TikTok. Make sure you give some love to the Darkskin Cap Verdeans. And you know, this is not a problem that is only happening to Cap Verdeans. It's also something that happens a lot of the time to Dominicans. Like, one of my closest friends is Dominican and she's black passing. Like, she looked like somebody that could be from Ghana, Nigeria, or even a black American, right? So every time that she tells people that she's Dominican, she always gets a weird reaction. Sometimes she even gets pushback. Like, I will never forget how one day we were together, you know, we were just out grabbing drinks and we met this person who was asking us where we were from, and I said I was from Senegal and she had nothing to say about that. But when my friend stated that she was Dominican, that person immediately made a really weird face, like as if she was confused, and then she proceeded to speak in Spanish, you guys. And to me, it was her testing my friend, like seeing if my friend was actually Dominican. Like, she was suspecting my friend of lying, and the only way I guess she could prove on that moment or make sure that my friend is Dominican indeed is by speaking to her in Spanish. So it's really crazy out here. And again, Dominicans are not the only one going through that. Like, this is a problem all over the Caribbean. It's a problem all over South America. Like, I will never forget when Scala, which is a Brazilian hairline, went viral on TikTok. People were saying that, oh, this is not gonna work on 4B hair, and it took a lot of people who actually been to Brazil coming on the app and saying, hey, no, like, I've been to Brazil and I've seen that there are a lot of people with 4B hair, like people who wear their natural hair. Like, a lot of Brazilian women actually wear their natural hair no matter what, you know, they wear it open, in a fro, in a wash and go. Like, apparently protective style culture is not as big there as it is in America or over here in Europe. And you know, anyone who know about the history of Brazil a little bit know that there are a lot of black people in Salvador de Bahia. So the ignorance is really a problem here, you guys. Like, they are black Mexicans, they call themselves Afro-Mexicans. Like, you will find black people all throughout South America. Like, the only country in South America where you're not going to find any black person is in Argentina, and that is because Argentina actually got rid of its black population. Like, you can do a quick Google search and find this information. Like, even here on YouTube, I actually found once a really interesting video about that. I will try to link it in the description box, about how Argentina erased or got rid of its black population. And you know, this reminds me of when I was watching the soccer game between Colombia and Switzerland. My neighbor who is Swiss asked me if we could watch the game together, if I could be, you know, his emotional support, I guess, to watch the game, since he didn't know any other Swiss here in Frankfurt. He just moved here recently. He's my next door neighbor, and I agreed. So as we were watching the game and it was halftime, I remember it vividly, you guys. That's how much his question shook me. Like, he was like, why are they so dark? Like, they're almost as dark as you. And I was very puzzled, and obviously I regretted instantly saying yes to watching the game with him. But I tried to stay composed and kind of ignore the question. But he then proceeded to unlock his phone and showed me pictures of two women, one of which had like kind of wavy hair, both light skin by the way, and the other one had like 3B hair. And he was like, this is my friend and this is her friend, and they are both Colombians. And I just thought, so what? Like, it's not because they are Colombian that every Colombian person look like this. Like, I myself have a Colombian friend and she looked nothing like this. But you know, again, I kind of like eluded the question. I guess I said something like, I don't know, and just shrugged my shoulders. You guys, don't judge me. I just at that point was eager for the next 45 minutes to pass, the match to end, so he could go back to his place and we could all be in peace. Okay, but yeah, you guys, just so you know, this is a problem all over the Caribbean, South America, in Cape Verde, obviously, and it's a bigger problem again than not being able to get a man. Like, it's a problem because these women are being denied opportunity, they're being denied representation. Think of little dark-skinned girls who dream to work on TV. Like, they can't even believe that that dream is possible because they never see dark-skinned women who look like them on TV. This is why representation matters. I say this all the time, but again, it's deeper than that. It's about their livelihood, being able to feed their kids, being able to get a job, not getting harsh sentences. So yeah, you guys, it's very deep, much deeper than, you know, getting Tyrone to take you out on a date or marry you or whatever. But again, shout out to the Darkskin Cap Verdeans women for taking onto social media in order to tell their side of the story and speak their truth. I hope that some of them are able to build a large following, especially since I read an article about how the term search Cape Verde received 5,000% more search on Google. So I really hope that, you know, that transpire in a lot of tourism for the island, and that, you know, people become less ignorant about the island and its population, like all of the islands, because there are several islands that, you know, compose Cape Verde. So I really hope that, you know, this shines more light about the islands and the population and the Darkskin Cap Verdeans. I certainly wish them, you know, all of the best in this future endeavors. Please, you guys, next time you're scrolling on social, make sure that, you know, you check them out and give them some love. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel as well. If you like this video, do not forget to give it a thumbs up. In the comment section down below, let me know, did you know that they were Darkskin Cap Verdeans, and did you know that Cap Verdeans are also indeed African? Do not forget to become a member as well. Bye guys, thanks for watching. Mwah.